Yeah, Mr. Yesufu, I want to ask you, because you know, when you hear the authorities, before we get to a point, for example, where the Dapchi girls disappear, where they're abducted, you hear the authorities come out and they say, look, we're under-resourced, we don't have enough manpower, we don't have the logistics, we don't have the funding we need, etc., etc. Police and military, even within the intelligence services. Now, when these conversations are had, generally Nigerians' reaction kind of naturally is, look, you guys are making excuses, you're not doing your job. But should we begin to look at, in terms of not just for today, but for tomorrow, increased investments in some of these things so that we can have the resources to cover all of these institutions like schools, etc., in view of future attacks?
Absolutely. One of the first documents that we brought out as a movement was a citizen solution to end terrorism. And part of the things that that document talked about was funding for our military, was information gathering, was a lot of things that we talked about. We took the Safe School Initiative, we discussed that. As a movement, we came out with the endangered education, where we say schools have to be protected. You cannot just leave schools alone like that and move on. We cannot just say because we want to put out a propaganda that the war has been won, and then we move on. You know, we have a chant, a part of our chant, we have a chant in BBOG where we say, what are we asking for? The truth, nothing but the truth. All we want from the federal government is the truth. Tell us the true situation. Don't try to cover up things. Don't try to pamper us. Let us know as citizens of this nation, and together we will fight this terror that has descended on our nation. We cannot go on and allow Chibok to keep happening in our nation.
I know you've been watching closely that Safe Schools initiative since it was inaugurated in 2014 under former President Goodluck Jonathan. What have you seen in terms of the sustainability of that project? Has it been something that has been let down when you talk about the partnership between organizations like UNICEF and the federal government? Has there been enough investment in that area, or do you think we just needed more components to it?
I think it's more about needing more components to it and having that political will to do the right thing. We have a lot of fantastic interventions. We have things that are supposed to work, but because they are not taking the way they're supposed to work, they end up not working. We have all the bureaucracy and whatever messing up the things. In 2015, 8 July 2015 to be precise, the Bring Back Our Girls movement handed over to President Muhammadu Buhari a document called the Missing Persons Register. As a movement, we realized that a lot of our citizens had been abducted that the nation didn't even know about. And we said it is unfair that citizens will be taken away and the state is not aware that these citizens are missing and looking for them. And nothing was done. We then went to the National Human Rights Commission on that same issue. They took it up and they've been working on it. Up to today, as I speak to you right now, it's still not yet effective. Bureaucracy and all of that. Yeah, they're working on it, but by now you expect that we would have a register. Dapchi, their identities would be known. They were in school, for crying out loud. It's not like other abduction that they are taking from time. You can't even find the parents to put them together. You don't know how to get the name. Their names are there, the registers are there. Why do we not have their names? Everything. The government needs to bring this out. There needs to be a situation room set up specifically for this. Information needs to be given out to citizens. It is not fair that we get jaded. You know, I was on social media yesterday, on Twitter to be precise, and there was a tweet that somebody sent to me. It broke my heart. It broke me as a citizen of this nation. I felt like just coiling up and just going to sleep and not waking up. He said, let's wait. It is when the Sheikh Abubakar Sheikh, the terrorist, brings out a video, that's when we'll know the accuracy of what has happened. How did we get to a situation whereby we wait onto the terrorists when we have leadership? I didn't give Sheikh my mandate, and I will never give him my mandate. It's the country, it's the nation that should give us accurate information.
And you know, definitely, you have said that they should set up a situation room. I don't know whether this statement here, I want to read excerpts from it. This is something released by Abdullahi Bego, who, by the way, had agreed to be a part of this program, but it's been difficult to get through to him as we speak right now in Yobe State. We don't know if he still plans to be a part of the program, but we'll see how that progresses. But yesterday he did release a statement saying that His Excellency Governor Gaidam has also directed Education Ministry officials and the school administration to work closely with the security agencies to establish the actual number of the girls that are still unaccounted for. That term unaccounted for is extremely important, and to contact parents and the community for possible information that that could be useful in the education. Now, he said that the Ministry of Education should work with the school authorities and the security agencies. Does this equate the situation room that you're looking for?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think it should be more of the security agencies. Yes, the Ministry of Education getting the names, even the school authority, they can't get the name, the principals and everything. They should know who is missing and who is not missing. And that, so we need a situation room. We need the security agencies working together, DSS, military, the police, gathering information, and they're coming out to give feedback mechanism to the parents and also to the public. Because right now everybody is scared. We have little children and they're scared whether it's their school nest.
We chose the term unaccounted for. I mean, I highlighted that term because as of 2 days ago, there was controversy as to whether or not they were abducted or whether they had run off or whether they had come back. But what was clear was that the numbers wasn't quite complete. There were rumors, there were stories of how Boko Haram vehicle broke down on the way, and some people said that they saw some girls looking very distressed in those vehicles. Some people said, oh no, they ran into the bushes, they just yet to come out. It's still very unclear as to what is going on. But from what we can hear now, it looks like these girls have been abducted. You know, what precisely is playing on your mind with all that you have heard so far?
Well, as a movement, we try on one thing. We try to work with empirical evidence. That's why even the statement we brought out, we're still waiting to the federal government to bring out, to give us accurate information about what is going on. I mean, we can't go on. Of course, when there's no information, a lot of theories will come out. We hear a lot of things. But in the case of the situation room I talked about, whether as long as we have unaccounted students, it now bears on the police to look for them, whether they're in the bushes, whether they're missing, wherever they are, the police, DSS getting information, the military, because at least we know for sure that there was a terrorist attack. So the military ought to be on ground right now checking. So it's all of them combined together, coming together to go around and find out what happened. The DSS to gather that information, the intelligence gathering. Is it that our girls were abducted? Are they missing? Is something, God forbid, something worse? Has something worse happened to them? What it is? But we need to be on ground. We need to take the Nigerian life as something that is precious. We need to let our children know that we've got their back. Children are going to school today wondering, is it my school that will be next? Let's remember one thing. Yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. You and I, all of us that are sitting here today, who is next? And so we should be serious about this.